Hello and welcome to the Sterling Firetower in Sterling, Wisconsin. Today is April 9th, 2009. I'm your host, Matthew Den, and I thought I'd give you a brief tour of the Sterling Firetower. Now what we've got here in front of us is a map of the Burnett County and Northern Polk County area. We've got the Frederick, Siren, Grantsburg, Sterling, that's me over here. Sterling Tower, Frederick Tower, Siren Tower, Grantsburg Tower, Oakland and Danbury, Mackenzie, Minong, and Roosevelt towers here. Now what you do when you want to triangulate these smokes, you report the distance and then you report the bearing. And if you've got more than one tower reporting, preferably 3 towers, you can triangulate your smoke, and you report the smoke size and the smoke coloration, whether it's a black, a white, or a gray smoke. So that's the map. Over here it's just got personal items, Mountain Dew, a radio, Winchester knife, Casio LCD color television that won't be any good once the DTV kicks in. Fortunately, that's going to kick in after the end of the second season of towering here in I believe it is June or July of 2009. So this television won't be working after they switch over to DTV. We've got a Kenwood radio, and we've got different channels on this thing. We've got a Kenwood radio, it's got different channels on this thing, yellow alpha, yellow bravo, yellow charlie, blue charlie, green echo, red, brown, and Firecom. This is the call sign is KA4273, that's what I sign out as. And Sterling Tower, that's me. So that's where I do most of my communications on. I also use a cell phone. I've got my own personal cell phone, and I've got a tower cell phone as well. Now in terms of spotting the fires, we've got this pair of 7x50 Bausch & Lomb U.S. Navy 1943 Mark 28 Mod 0 binoculars, and I have my own pair of Barska 10x30x60 zoom binoculars here that I've yet to use, but these are the ones that came with the tower. Bausch & Lomb U.S. Navy Mark 28 Mod 0 1943, like I said, Bausch & Lomb binoculars. And this device down here is the device that we use to triangulate the fires. Now once we spot a fire, this is the device that we use to triangulate the location of the fire. What we do is for example, if I see a fire towards this direction, which would be the east-northeast, I would line it up in the crosshairs of this device, then I'd look down at the 360-degree compass down on the table here, and I'd align it, see 81, 82, 83, 84 there. And I'd go in half degrees. When I report it, I'd say there's a smoke at 84.5 east-northeast, and then I'd give the distance, say 8 miles or so. You use terrain features when you're looking for the distance of the smoke. And you can find that on my pull-down map, which is up there. But you either estimate it by eye, or you go up and use your map, and you once again you read off the degree in half degree marks here, 81, 2, 3, 4 and a half, and report the distance and the type of smoke, white, gray, black. You report that to Cumberland Dispatch, and that's how you report a fire in the Sterling Firetower.
Do you have an address or legal for the fire you're going to? Gabrielson Lake Road.
10-4.
I believe it'd be in the southeast of the northeast of 32.
Now in terms of heating, I've got my own very small DNR stove here. Stove or oven, I guess the term could be used exchangeably, because I've actually tried to cook chunky soup on the top of that stove before. It didn't work out so well though. It took a very, very long time to heat. But it's got, we've got a little tiny stove up here I use for, very seldomly when it gets a little chilly up here, I use the stove, and it's got its own chimney, as you can see. Now this Coleman PowerMate is what I use for portable power up here in the Sterling Firetower. It's got a 12-volt outlet. It's a car jump starter, but it also serves as a cell phone charger. As you can see here, I have a plug-in for my Razor, my Motorola Razor here. And I used to use a Black & Decker instead of this Coleman PowerMate last year, but it was pretty heavy, and I just haven't brought it up this year yet. I'll probably get around to it soon once the battery dies on this. I'll probably bring the Black & Decker jump starter up, and as you can see over here, we've got a 100-watt Black & Decker inverter that I use in my Black & Decker jump starter for my car. Now, as you can see, this Black & Decker 100-watt inverter converts direct current to alternating current, and you can plug normal outlet devices into it, such as this Sony battery charger, this BCTRG Sony battery charger that I use for my Sony CyberShot DS-CW70. Works out very handy. You just plug it in like that, and then you just plug that device into the Coleman PowerMate 12-volt outlet right there. It's very handy. Now this little Black & Decker inverter will convert direct current to alternating current. It's, like I said, 100-watt converter. Very handy. And over here I've got this Kenwood radio. My call sign, if you can see it here, is KA4273. That's the call sign I use to sign out with. Once I'm at the bottom of the tower, I always say, this is Sterling Tower on the ground and out of service, KA4273. And this is the main channel I use, Yellow Alpha. And the red channel, basically the only channels I ever use is Yellow Alpha and red. Yellow Alpha is a normal channel that we use for communication when we're reporting fires and we're talking with Cumberland Dispatch. Red is the channel that we use when we're communicating with the Cessna 172 that will circle overhead of fires that are reported. It'll be able to get to fires before the Rangers on the ground, because those Cessnas go about 125. I think the maximum speed on the Cessna 172 is about 125 miles an hour, so they can get to fires a lot faster. And once they get close, if they can't find the fire, we communicate with them on red, or once the DNR Rangers are on the ground, they will switch over to red and use it as a local channel for communication for fighting the fires, so that they're not disrupting the Yellow Alpha, which is everybody else on the main channel. They'll switch over from Yellow Alpha to red so that they don't interfere with the rest of the reporting of the fires and the communication with Cumberland Dispatch and the DNR Rangers. So when they get close up into the fires, or when the Cessna 172 needs to be directed as to where to go, if they cannot see the fire, then we switch over to red. I almost never use red. The DNR Rangers use red most of the time when they get to the fire, though.